学系的刘仁君以及物理系的吴博如带来的题目是 The Differences in Traditional Festivals, Taiwan vs. Japan.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Yan Jun from the Department of Math.
And I'm Boru from the Department of Physics.
Today we are going to talk about the differences between the festivals, Taiwan versus Japan. First, I want to ask you a question. What occurs in your mind when it comes to May? Okay, I think most of people may think of zongzi or dragon boat races and maybe some statues. Then what about in Japan? I think the most impressive thing is hanging cup flags. And maybe you will be surprised to know that there are also zongzi in Japan too. Now you may notice that there are some similarities in these two countries. And you may be curious about why there are some similar things in these two countries. Before showing you the answer, let me introduce our outline for you. First, we will talk about the historical relationship between Taiwan and Japan. And second, we will show you some different ways of celebrating the same festival. And we will take the Dragon Ball Festival as an example. Third, we will discuss some possible reasons that cause the differences. Last but not least is our summary. So first, what causes the similarities? The answer is the influence of Chinese culture. In the 7th century, the Emperor of Tang Dynasty sent a lot of people to Japan, and during the procedure, people brought Chinese characters, festivals, and religions to Japan. This is why there are so many similar things in these two countries. And in our presentation, we will focus on the festivals, and now Peru will give you more details.
Hi, and now I'm going to give a brief introduction of the Dragon Ball Festival. First, it is a festival which is really common in the East Asian cultural sphere, which includes Taiwan, China, North Korea, South Korea, and also sometimes it includes the Central Asia. And second, the festival was originated in Wu. In Chinese, we say Suzhou, and it's the region with the core area around the Taihu Lake in Jiangnan. And you can see in the picture that this is a grand hotel which was located right on the Taihu Lake. And third, it is one of the three biggest festivals in Chinese culture. The three is, first, Chinese New Year, second, the Dragon Ball Festival, and the third one is the Moon Festival. Okay. And now I'm going to talk about the two most important elements in Taiwan celebrating this Dragon Ball Festival. First, the Dragon Ball racing, and eating zongzi. And you can see in the picture in the left shows people who was racing for the victory in the Dragon Ball racing. And the picture in the right shows a traditional Taiwanese zongzi, and it has a triangular shape. And other related traditions such as first, the egg balancing, second, hanging on warm wood, also wearing the sachet and drinking the yogurt wine, and we say 雄黄酒. And next, I want to talk about the meaning of the Dragon Ball Festival in Chinese culture. It is in remembrance of Qu Yuan, and he was a legendary poet in the Chinese history. And there's a portrait of him. He was a devoted patriot in the warrior state, and he decided to commit suicide in the Miluo River for the love of his country and some political reasons. And the origin of the Dragon Ball Festival in Chinese history is because after Qu Yuan died, and people who cherished him threw some food and some rice into the river to make sure that the fish wouldn't eat his corpse. And next, I want to talk about the meaning of Dragon Ball Festival in the Japanese culture. And I want to talk about shogunate, and we say 幕府时代. And it's the era that changed the whole Japanese culture irreversibly, no matter economically or spiritually. And the most important element in the shogunate is the warrior spirit. And in the picture shows, the picture in the left shows the shogun, and we say Zhangjun, and he is the highest administration in the shogunate. And the picture in the right shows the image of a traditional Japanese warrior. And also, the Dragon Ball Festival means the Children's Day in Japan, so they hang the carved flags. And like each Japanese zongzi that has a different shape, it has a slim and long shape. And I'll sum up what I just said. First, the date that Taiwan and Japan celebrate the Dragon Ball Festival are different. First, Taiwan celebrated on the lunar calendar, but Japan celebrated on the new calendar. And the celebrations are quite different, but they still have some commonness. And the meaning of the Dragon Ball Festival became different after the shogunate.
Okay, after listening to the previous presentation, I believe everyone knows more about the Dragon Ball Festival. But besides Dragon Ball Festival, Taiwan and Japan also have other festivals in common, such as Chinese New Year, Chinese Valentine's Day, and maybe you would be surprised to know that Ghost Festival and Moon Festival. Okay, let's move on to the next part. What consists of differences? We gave several answers to these questions. The first is the habits of locals. The second is the religious cultures. The main religion in Taiwan is Taoism, while it is Shinto in Japan. And the third is the history of the country. Since Taiwan and Japan are different countries, they have their own culture and their own traditions, and that's what causes the differences. And now these three elements all add up to the same result, the unique culture. Now I will do a brief review of our presentation. In the first paragraph, we introduce several festivals in Taiwan and Japan, and we introduce a special historical relationship between these two countries. In the second paragraph, we talk about our main point, the Dragon Ball Festival, and we divided it into four parts: the origin, the meaning, the celebration, and the evolution. And later, we discussed some possible reasons that cause the differences. And now let me do the summary. The festivals in these two countries have the same original cultures, but they evolve in their own ways through time. The cultures in these two countries gave them different meaning too. And as a conclusion, we should all learn to respect and appreciate the amazingly unique culture of the festivals of any country. And after all, we are all members of the global village. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your listening.